Hi, my name is Jean. I'm from Planet Pinup, my little Etsy shop where I make hair flowers and snoods and other hair accessories. And I would like to show you how to make, to take your snood from being an elastic, stretchy style to being a drawstring style, because people prefer it both ways. So if you've got an elastic one and prefer a drawstring, this will help you. So first, what you need your snood, and you need a very sharp small pair of scissors and a very dull yarn needle. It doesn't hurt, and it has a wide eye. You can get these at like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or Joann, any kind of craft store. Usually the cross stitch and yarn aisles are close to each other, and they mostly have the handwork needles in sort of right in between, mostly more towards the cross stitch, but very close to the yarn aisles. So, but you'll also need some yarn that either matches or is very, very close to, actually, you could also use one that's a very nice darker contrast if you want to see your drawstring and you can't find anything that is even remotely close. So it'd be better to contrast on purpose than to have colors that are almost close and kind of scream at each other. But for these purposes, we're going to use one that matches today. So first, you take, if your snood came with a flower, remove the flower. And you'll want to locate right around the edge. You can see in between the stitches where there's a bit of elastic. And the elastic is white. So you'll find, see, there's a little bit of elastic. You pull it out, okay? Give it a snip. Off she goes. So that's going to start to pull out. You'll just want to locate it where it happens to be hiding in between each of these little stitches. So go through and find every couple of inches. You'll find where there's some elastic. Just pull it on out with the duller side of your needle. You don't need a seam ripper or anything special for this. The holes are not very small, so it's not that big a deal. See, there's some more. You just reach in there and get it. Start moving a little more quickly so you don't fall asleep. You get the basic idea. Just find where it's hiding and pull it out. And eventually, so you're going to find where it's hiding and pull some more out. And we've gotten to the spot where the knot was, right? Originally tied the knot on that one, so we'll just break the knot and keep on rolling. Pull it on out, and as we start to we're getting along with it, you want to start to give it a good pull. If you just start it too early, it might break and you'll just still have to find the little pieces of elastic in there, but that's not that big a deal. So you can pull it, be kind of gentle, and it probably won't break on you. There, it's all the way out. So that was pretty easy. Okay, next, you take your yarn and pull out a pretty decent length, but don't cut it yet. Keep it attached to your skein of yarn. Okay, so you want to thread your yarn onto your needle. This is not always the easiest thing. I squeeze it between my thumb and forefinger and then sort of force it through. If I get a few threads going, then I can grab it and pull it on through. There you go. Get a good length in there. This yarn seems to want to fray a little bit. It's a very interesting texture that feels like terry cloth once it's woven together. So some yarns hold together better than others. But this one, what you'll want to do is you find those same holes where you just pulled the elastic from, and you'll start to weave it through. For the drawstring, I actually even like to go on the layer just below that little chain. So you'll sort of leave the top layer of yarn on top. And this doesn't even have to be every other stitch. So you start off, just find one hole. I'll show you real quick here. So there's relatively good sized holes right along that top edge. Needle in the mouth, not the best way to broadcast. Okay, so you take it, you thread it through one hole into the next. Then you find the next one and the next one. And we're just kind of pushing it through. Notice I'm still sort of holding on to the needle in my right hand. We're weaving, we're weaving. And once you feel you're running out of needle, you'll just want to give it a pull. And just measure. This is an imprecise process. I sort of hold it from that spot and loop it around. I think that's actually going to be a little bit long. See, it's almost already to the side, but because this is the drawstring, you want to have enough space to tie a little bow, you'll want to leave some excess, so that's fine. Especially if you're not almost out of yarn, then why worry? Okay. So then we keep on weaving. We'll make this real quick. So you're getting the gist now. You're probably already done with yours. You weave, 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 weave. Pull it on through. Whoops, I pulled it a little far that time. So since we have this time while we're weaving it through to chit-chat a little, I was wondering how your fall's going so far. Are you enjoying going back to school? Or having your kids back to school? Or having the neighbors' kids be back to school? What else happens in fall? We got fall colors in Michigan. Not a personal favorite of mine, but hey, people dig it. I'm going to have to learn some jokes if this becomes a habit. So you're watching this, you're seeing this happen. So it's like frame by frame. This is like the show 24. We're just going exactly along the time. This is like real-time snood threading. See, we're more than half done already. So don't fall asleep yet. We're close. We're getting close. If you need to run and get a beer real quick, I understand. I'll be right here finishing this up. Super easy. So we're just going right along. That's right underneath the top edge. Piece of cake. And then another pull. So basically it's the same deal over and over. You want to draw it along until you run out of needle. If you miss a hole, you know, no big whoop. It is going to be all wadded up once it's on your hair. And you're going to look gorgeous. No one is going to notice where the yarn even is, I promise you. See how close? We are just, actually we're there, see? Okay, so you go along until you meet the other piece of yarn. Pull your, I'm stuck. Okay, pull your needle out. And we want to snip off some of this icky stuff on the end because that got a little bit frayed while we were doing it. And then you want to snip off the end that's still attached to your skein of yarn here. So you want to keep it attached while you're threading because otherwise you might accidentally pull your yarn all the way through if it's not quite long enough. So give it a snip too. Make sure you leave plenty on the ends. So then you got a hole pretty good size. And once you're ready to put it on your head, you'll simply tie a little knot like so and make a bow or tuck the ends in. So here's your snood, there's your drawstring. That's the end of that tutorial. If you have any questions, leave a comment or email me. I'm going to try to put it on now to show you how that goes, but I'm not that good at that. So this is not a tutorial, this is an experiment. You'll put it right onto the top, not unlike your favorite hat. Twist your unruly hair and tuck it in. I usually like to put a little bobby pin on top, but I don't happen to have one handy. Tuck Mrs. Hair in on the sides, and on the other side it's a bit far forward right now, so it kind of looks like a bathing cap. So we push it on back, tuck this unruly mess in there. And since my hair is a little thin, I'm going to fluff it out there, Give it extra fluff in the back. A mirror would be better than the webcam, I'll admit. You tie your little knot in the back. Tuck your ends in. Bobby pin it on where you like it. And then you add your flower to keep it in tight. There's your snood. You just fixed it. No more elastic, drawstring only. Come visit my Etsy shop, Planet Pinup. Drop me a love note, buy some stuff, and send me your other questions. I'll make new videos. Thanks.